Labour MPs stunned into silence when asked simple migrant question. In the heart of Westminster, an ordinary afternoon took a surprising turn that would leave both politicians and the public in a state of shock. The air buzzed with anticipation as Labour MPs gathered for a routine session in Parliament. It was supposed to be just another day of debates and discussions, but what unfolded would echo far beyond the walls of Westminster. As the MPs settled into their seats, the topic of the day was meant to focus on pressing local issues, but a simple question emerged from the crowd, one that would send shockwaves through the chamber. What is your stance on the current migrant crisis? It was posed by a young journalist, armed with nothing but a microphone and a burning curiosity. The room fell silent, the kind of silence that thickens the air and makes hearts race. Eyes darted around the chamber, and the MPs exchanged uneasy glances, as if the question had unlocked a Pandora's box of hidden truths. How could such a straightforward inquiry leave seasoned politicians momentarily speechless? As the first MP, a seasoned politician known for his eloquent speeches, opened his mouth, the words caught in his throat. He glanced at his colleagues, their faces a mix of concern and confusion. A moment of hesitation turned into an eternity, and the audience leaned in, eager to uncover what lay beneath the surface of political rhetoric. Suddenly, a glimmer of recognition crossed the face of another MP, a rising star within the party, known for her fiery debates on social issues. She took a deep breath, ready to respond, but before she could utter a word, a loud protest erupted from the back of the room. A group of activists, wielding placards and chanting slogans, had stormed in, demanding answers about the very policies the MPs had been avoiding. The tension escalated. Cameras flashed, capturing each reaction, the shock, the indignation, the fear. The activists' presence added an unexpected twist, turning what began as a question into a dramatic confrontation. Would the MPs rise to the occasion, or would they retreat into their safe political scripts? As the chanting grew louder, the original question hung in the air, unanswered. What was it about the topic of migrants that caused such a stir? The public had been divided on the issue for years, and the MPs' silence spoke volumes. Were they afraid of backlash? Or did they simply lack a unified stance? The atmosphere shifted again as the eldest MP, a veteran of many political battles, stood up to address the growing chaos. His voice, often a source of calm, now trembled with uncertainty. Let's not forget the human stories behind the statistics, he implored, his eyes scanning the room for support. But even his appeal fell flat against the backdrop of unrest. The activists, sensing the MPs' hesitation, intensified their demands. We want to hear the truth. They shouted. The public's growing frustration was palpable, and it became evident that the MPs were caught in a web of their own making. As the minutes ticked by, the question lingered unanswered, creating a palpable tension that drew viewers in from across the nation. Just when it seemed the situation might spiral out of control, a newcomer entered the scene, a charismatic MP known for her ability to connect with the public. She stepped forward, exuding confidence despite the turmoil around her. We need to discuss this, she declared, cutting through the noise. Her words ignited a spark of hope in the crowd, and anticipation hung in the air once more. But as she began to outline potential solutions, a sudden disruption occurred. A video started playing on a nearby screen, featuring testimonies from migrants, heartfelt stories filled with pain, loss, and hope. The room fell silent again, but this time, it was not out of fear, it was out of empathy. The MPs were forced to confront the very human faces behind the statistics they often debated. With emotions running high, the MPs were no longer just politicians, they were representatives of a nation grappling with compassion and responsibility. Could they rise to the challenge, or would they remain paralyzed by the weight of their own indecision? As the session drew to a close, one final question echoed through the chamber: what will you do next? The MPs exchanged glances, the tension still palpable. Each face reflected uncertainty, but also a flicker of determination. In that moment, the extraordinary power of a single question became clear. It had not only exposed the MPs' vulnerabilities but also ignited a much-needed conversation. As the camera panned out, viewers were left on the edge of their seats, eager to see how this drama would unfold in the coming days. What will the Labour Party's next move be? How will they address the very real concerns of their constituents? And most importantly, will they finally break their silence on the migrant crisis that continues to divide the nation? Stay tuned, because the answers are just beginning to surface.